What's up, y'all? I've got some good news for you today. We've got Jeremy Osalvo in the house, and he just landed 102K OTE, fully remote role in just 48 days. He's here to tell all about his journey and his growth experience and everything we went through in the SWORD program. And it's an honor to have him here. Jeremy, welcome.
Thank you, Jack. I am super excited to finally be on one of these. Yeah, excited.
We've been waiting. We've been waiting for this moment. So proud of you. Just for all the people who have never met you before, can you kind of start with life before Sword, man? What were you doing? What jobs were you doing? Tell me about like tech sales. Did you apply? Did you not know about it? Where were you?
Yeah, great question, Jack. So before joining Sword, I had dibbled and dabbled in finance, bartending. Honestly, like I was feeling lost in my career. That's just me being straight up. And I was stuck in roles that didn't align with kind of my long-term goals, and I definitely struggled to see, some type of clear growth path for myself. And I want to bring this up actually. Like I vividly remembered, you know, going on a prayer walk and asking God to change my life because I just felt stuck, you know, and I realized I needed just some type of complete shift. I needed to do something else, and not even like a week later, I found tech sales, through like Instagram and TikTok. And I had a couple friends in the field as well. And I felt like that field really resonated with me and my strengths, you know, and I did a lot of research, before obviously deciding to pivot my career into it. But I just knew that breaking in would be challenging, like alone. So I searched for guidance, right? And that's when I came across you, Jack, on Instagram, and I saw the SWORD program and everything about it clicked. I knew
And,
and this is what I
and
needed.
48 days later, we're
Yeah.
here having this conversation. Praise God.
Yeah.
Kind of break down the after for us.
Yeah.
Like, what's up now? What happened?
Yeah. Since joining the SWORD program, after joining it, my life obviously has taken a complete 180-degree turn. You know, Now I have a clear, structured long-term plan for my life, right? Something I've always wanted but never had. Um, Not only that, I'm thrilled, excited to be entering the industry where it's fully remote, right? Financial stability ahead, right? And I feel confident about my growth in tech sales. So even beyond the results, I feel like I now have this new transformed mindset, you know, along with like the community, right, to thrive in this chapter. And the support and guidance from you, Jack, has been invaluable. And it's what I guess equipped me to excel long term. So super excited, man.
And man, yeah, man, you're gonna crush this thing, and you worked your butt off for it. You did mention before you had heard about tech sales, you had some buddies in it, and then you did your research. Kind of curious to hear why ultimately you went with Sword out of so many other options out there.
Yeah, great question. Transparently, when I was looking at taking courses and programs, so I knew I couldn't do this alone, right? I was kind of comparing all of these other coaches and all these other programs, and I just saw Sword not being a generic program, right? Um, we had our initial one-on-one, right? You explained to me the personalization offering of coaching, of practical strategies, and even just the accountability part of it. Like I knew I needed that to make a real transformation. So not only that, I guess even like the success stories from others who landed the jobs, in tech sales, right? I saw that like if they can do it, I can do it. It all inspired me, and I believed in the system, and I believed that it was real. And I just knew your coaching style would push me, in comparison to the others, right? This was more one-on-one base, right? You get a whole personalized coaching. It's not just a generic thing, right? And
Yeah,
most importantly, I think it was centered around faith. And that's exactly it for me.
yeah, absolutely, man. And there's a lot of people out there who know they want to make a transition, like you just did, but they're still kind of on the fence, even about working with Sword. And I'd be curious to hear what you would say to those people who are on the fence. Maybe they just had a call like we did, and they're like, "Ugh, am I really going to do this? Do I really want this?" What would you tell that person who's on the fence?
Great question, Jack. Not too long ago, I was in a way on the fence, right? And I think if you're on the fence about joining Sword specifically, first off, do your research, right? Before we even begin, do your research, even if you want to be in tech sales in the first place. And from that, if you know that's what you want, then ask yourself this: how badly do you want to change your career, like, and your life? For me, joining was about taking ownership of my future. The program gives you the tools, the strategies, and like the mindset needed to succeed, but you have to be willing to put in the work, right? And if you're serious about breaking into tech sales and you don't want to waste time figuring it out on your own, like I did, then I feel like Sword is 100% worth it.
Yeah. It's interesting because those are the two questions I ask people when
Yeah.
I talk to them. It's like, one, are you sure you want to get into tech sales? Because that's number one. Like, you have to know that. This isn't just like, oh, I'm applying to sales roles. No, no, no. Tech sales is a lifestyle. You've got to commit to it. You're all in. And the second question, if the first answer is yes, I know I want tech sales. My second question is like, hey, do you actually want to go land a job? Because if you work with us, what we teach you, like, we're not waiting 3, 4, 5 months for you to maybe get a job. Like, this is going to happen in the next few weeks, assuming you apply yourself. Jeremy, you did that, man. Like, you had a couple opportunities. I thought within the first 2 weeks, we were going to be like good to go. But the Lord waited and made you wait for something even better, far better than we could have imagined. And that's why we're here. That's why you're in this role, 102K fully remote. I mean, one of the roles you were considering was a commute to Toronto, right? What would have that looked like?
Yeah, that I live in Ottawa, so it's about 5 hours just to drive down there. And I was really looking about going back and forth twice a week for that. And like you said, I thought I had landed that job opportunity, and obviously God had different plans for you and I both.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But even that, you were so grateful and excited for that opportunity. And you worked your butt off for it. But I think it was God just teaching you more about the heart posture and the mindset rather than like the outcome and the result. And then once you were faithful with that little, he's like, okay, cool. Now I can open up a lot for you. What
yep.
about the one-on-one dynamic? Because that coaching, that hand-to-hand coaching is different. What stood out to you about my coaching style?
Yeah, great question. Jack, what can I say? You're direct, you're supportive, and you're faith driven. Those embody who you are, right? You have a way of like holding us accountable, but also showing empathy. You know, there was a moment, we just talked about it in the program, where, I thought I had gotten a job offer, but I obviously didn't get it. And I was devastated, and I felt like I was back to square one. But yeah, it was just like, okay, let me send him a voice note to tell him this. And you didn't let me stay in that place of doubt, Jack. You were there to guide me. You pushed me forward, and you reminded me of, I guess, even just like the bigger picture. Even at that time, like I still couldn't see it. I was just so down, but your faith in me and your prayers, was like that source of strength for me during that day. You even brought in something very personal about yourself, and even hearing that and tying it all in together to my situation, like I needed to hear that. You helped me refocus and stay on the path. So your level of care and encouragement isn't invaluable, right? It's a reflection of what makes you, I guess, such an incredible coach, but even more like a mentor. So yeah.
Man, I really appreciate that. It fires me up as a coach. Like, I think you've probably been in situations where you've teamed up with someone, but they're not putting in all the effort. And so it really is like hard for you to muster up that effort. For you and me though, man, like you were bringing the heat to me. And I was like, dude, let's go. Like, you want to go? Let's go. And you were locked in, just always fired up, always like, how do I improve? How do I get better? So you made this a lot of fun for me. And the cherry on top is the job, right? Honestly, like getting to watch you grow and develop has been huge. And the Bible says the joy of the Lord is our strength, right? And so we get to walk in that joy now, and man, you get to carry it and give that to other people, which is huge. Tell me about outside of landing the job, outside of getting a sick OTE, fully remote, like all those amazing things. What's something you're really proud of accomplishing that you felt like we were able to do together?
Great question, Jack. Yeah, obviously, besides that incredible milestone, right? That job, I think discovering how to channel my inner strengths in a more organized and strategic way. Because I think I've always known I had that work ethic and drive, but the program itself and you, Jack, helped me, I guess, sharpen those qualities and gave me like actionable steps, to use it as a tool and a strength to break into tech sales. So it wasn't just about working hard; it was working smart, um, knowing how to present myself, and I guess understanding the sales process, right? But yeah, no, that transformation gave me the confidence and clarity I needed, right, to succeed long term. But not just in landing the role, but in building, a meaningful career. And I can truly say now, face to face, I did the job to get the job. So, yeah,
You did it.
yeah,
And you're in a position now to go crush the real job because
exactly.
all the mindsets and everything that you were just able to accumulate. And there's no doubt you're going to get incredible results. I mean, I just got a screenshot back today from one of my earlier clients who onboarded at a company. He's number one on the leaderboards right now. And I was so proud to see that. And I'm going to get a screenshot from you with similar data, no
Amen.
doubt. Um, there are a lot of people out there though that are still kind of stuck in the job search. They're trying to get into tech sales. What's something specific you learned in the program that you feel like if other people knew or did or implemented, that would actually help them land a job?
Yeah, great question. I learned that, preparation and mindset is obviously everything, but you also need to find ways and to not be afraid to stand out, right? This goes back to doing the job to get the job, but you really have to find a way to set yourself apart. And that's key, right? I remember there was a post about me on LinkedIn, Jack. It was, I was the one out of 2,000 applicants that emailed, cold called, sent a LinkedIn DM, sent a video. Like you have to be that persistent.
Yep.
But even like besides that, I think most important thing is to learn how to detach because things may be going your way one week. Like I'm a firsthand example. Things are going my way even one week, but then the other can be completely different. And you have to learn how to trust the process to keep, sending those videos, keep cold calling because you never know, right? And that's all to say you can never be too high, but then you can also never be too low. So those things were key.
Yeah. I think obviously do the job to get the job is a highlight from what you're saying, like multi-thread, multi-touch, do all the steps. Cause odds are no one else is doing the steps like that, or very few people are. You're going to stand out from the crowd just on that alone. But then it's also detach from the results. And one of the best SDR tips that I've ever heard and given out myself is right after you book a meeting, go call again. And that's the same detached mindset. It's like, oh, I booked a meeting. I'm going to hit quota now. Let's get, nope. Because what if they no show? Right? You've got to control what you can control. And Jeremy, you did such a great job of just staying in the pocket, staying at peace, just staying consistent. So, man, I've got no doubt you're going to crush this role. And I'm going to be getting screenshots from you of number one on the leaderboards here pretty soon. Brother, I'm really proud of you, really grateful for what God has done here. And man, 102K fully remote in just 48 days. Are you kidding me? What a blessing. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate all your help and the sword program and the community as well. But thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.